Her kitchen is where the magic is made.
Hi, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I'm Holly, your friendly neighborhood carnivore, and I'm so happy you could join me today. So we're continuing on with our October recipes, and this one that we're doing today is going to be a ghostly Halloween themed, but it doesn't have to be. If you're watching this and it's not around Halloween time, don't make the fun shapes. So what we're going to be making today is going to be a handheld taco pie. So let me explain why we're doing this. I went to a few fall festivals recently, and one thing that I see almost always is somebody selling hand pies. And I don't think that's just a Southern thing, but just in case it is and you don't know what a hand pie is, basically it is just a small pie about this big that is completely enclosed in its own pie crust, and you hold it with your hand and eat it. So that is one of those treats that I used to love growing up. I've always loved like a chocolate hand pie or an apple hand pie. Honestly, any of them. I used to love them. And it got me thinking, seeing those, I thought, I haven't had a hand pie in so long, but why are they always sweet? They don't always have to be sweet. So I've been thinking about it, and I thought, why don't we try to make a savory one? And I decided to make a taco hand pie because tacos are not something I usually eat. Now, there are carnivore versions of tacos and nachos and things like that, but being dairy-free, I don't have cheese that I put on it. I don't have sour cream that I put on it. Anytime I think about tacos, I want all of the dairy things that go with it. So I just haven't done tacos in forever because I can't have all those things. But I got to thinking, the hand pie would be a good way to have the taco meat that's all nice and seasoned, and it's going to have something with it being in its own little pie crust, so to speak, that maybe I'm not going to miss the cheese or the sour cream or whatnot. Now, if you can't tolerate dairy, I would recommend putting a little cheese inside these. I'm thinking it would be really, really good, or maybe inside our pie crust that we're making. But I have made two versions today. I've never made these before. I have not tried them yet. I don't know how they're going to be, but I made two versions. One of them, the crust is made out of beef. The other one, the crust is made out of egg yolk. Very similar to how I breaded the corn dogs or how I made the egg yolk fries. That's what we're going to be trying out today. As always, I will have the recipe in the description along with any links that might make it easier for you to get some things that I might be using in the kitchen just to simplify things for you. So let me show you guys how I made these. I did, since it is October, made my little template for a ghost. Because I figured it would be cute to have some little ghostly shapes. And obviously, a hand pie, you can just have a circle, fold it, put your filling in, fold it in half, and crimp the edges. And it will be a lot faster and simpler than doing the little ghost. But I just couldn't help myself. I thought it was cute and had to do it. Let me show you guys how I created these. And then I'm going to show you what they look like, and we'll find out together how they taste, because I don't know. We'll see if this texture worked out baking it in the oven. All right, let's get to cooking.
We're starting out by cooking up 1 pound of ground beef. Once it's cooked through, we are going to measure out 5 ounces of the ground beef and set it aside. Then we're going to season our remaining ground beef that's in the skillet. I will have approximate measurements in the description, but I tend to measure with my heart, so it might not be exact. Make sure you taste your food as you go. That's how you're going to find the perfect balance of flavor. I'm starting with a splash of soy aminos and a splash of fish sauce. Next, I'm going to start shaking in some of the dry seasonings. I'm going to start with some Redmond seasoning salt, and then I'm going to add some chili powder, some cumin, some garlic powder, onion powder, and some oregano. Get all of your seasonings stirred up really well, and if you don't have issues with tomatoes, you can also add a tablespoon of tomato paste here. Now we're going to add just a little bit of water so we can get this meat simmering a little bit and get the flavors cooked in really well. Make sure you taste your meat and add any more seasonings as you see fit. Time to set our taco meat aside and work on the dough for our pie crust. The first one we're making will be using beef. We're going to take the 5 ounces of ground beef that we set aside and we're going to put it in a blender. Go ahead and add a pinch of salt and 2 tablespoons of beef gelatin and give it a blend. I know you only saw me add 1 tablespoon here, but trust me, I'm going to add another one later, so you might as well go ahead and put it in at the beginning. You can also go ahead and add a half a teaspoon of baking powder here. Now that it's slightly blended up, it's time to go ahead and crack 2 eggs into the blender. And it's time to blend it up again. Make sure you stop halfway through to scrape down the sides and then keep blending. And this is what it looks like when it's all broken down into the dough. We're going to scrape it into a bowl and just set it aside while we mix up our egg yolk mixture. For the egg yolk crust, we're going to use 4 egg yolks, a pinch of salt, a tablespoon of beef gelatin, and a tablespoon of ghee, either softened at room temperature or warmed just until melted, but you do not want it hot. Give it a good forking and make sure you scrape the sides as you go, and then we're going to set it aside. Back to our dough made from beef, we need to divide it into 4 portions. Now it's time to lay out some plastic wrap. If you're trying to make a fun shape, just put your little template underneath the plastic wrap so you can spread it out on top. Using another piece of plastic wrap on top to keep it from sticking, you can then use a rolling pin to roll it out flat and shape it as best you can. I learned that plastic wrap is the tool of choice here. Do not go for parchment paper. I'm repeating the process one more time, but on this one, I have to make sure that I cut the little eyes out. And then it's time to fill with taco meat. Very carefully layer the other piece on top. You can squish down the edges with the fork, remove the top layer of plastic wrap, and then with a little bowl of water, you can dip the fork and alternate crimping the edges and dipping the fork in water to keep it from sticking. We're going to repeat the process one more time with the beef, because we will be able to get 2 full pies out of the beef, and then we're going to repeat the process again with the egg yolk dough, but the egg yolk dough only makes enough for 1 small pie, so only divide it into 2 portions of dough. You see here, I've got all my little ghosties on the cookie sheet. The first one I tried was on parchment paper, and like I said, this is not the tool to use. I could not get it off the parchment paper until it baked. Into an oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, these little guys go, and they will bake for about 12 to 15 minutes. When these little ghosties came out, their eyes were weeping tears of taco goodness, and they looked quite a mess, but once they cooled off, they were adorable little ghosties.
Okay, I've got my little ghostly hand pies here and I'm ready to try them. I'm sure you can tell which ones were made with beef and which ones were made with egg yolks based on the color. But I've only got 1 little one from the egg yolks and I've got 2 bigger ones from the beef there. So let's give these things a try. Now I'm curious what they look like underneath. Okay, so I don't know, maybe we'll start with the egg yolk one. So we've got our little ghosty. Here's his back side here. He's a bit crispy because of the gelatin on him. I can kind of hear a little crisp happening around the edges. Maybe I'll break him in half. Let's see how that goes. Ooh, maybe I won't break him in half. He doesn't want to break. Let me cut him in half. Okay, we will cut him in half. Let's see how that goes. Now, I have never baked the egg yolks like this. I've always used either, well, I guess I've pretty much always used a waffle iron, or I have made something that I fried in tallow. And you could fry this in tallow. But this is our, oops, I'm dropping stuff. Here's our little pocket of taco meat. Smells really good. It tastes pretty good, but the egg yolk part, I almost wish it was a little bit thinner, or maybe found a way to pack a lot more meat into it. It kind of reminds me more of maybe a tamale than like hand pie. But the beef one, I'm thinking it might do the same thing, because they're not really crusty crumbly like a pie. It smells good. So here's the inside of the beef one. Okay. The beef, that's the one I recommend you go with. That tastes really good. The texture is not crumbly like a pie crust would be, but this is nice that I can hold it in my hand and serve it this way, so I really like it. This very much reminds me of the texture of tamales without the tamale sauce on top, you know, just the dried tamale with the meat in it. But this is really good. It's really nice and beefy. It does not take away from the taco seasonings that I put in it. The one with the egg yolks, I almost feel like it takes away from the flavor of the taco meat, whereas this one doesn't. So if you're dead set on going with egg yolks, maybe season that meat extra or find a way to roll it out thinner. But I think this is the way to go. I'm really excited about this. Okay, so I'm happy to say these were a success. Yay! Of course, if you can tolerate dairy, you can add some cheese in there. You can dip it in some sour cream. If you're just keto, you could use some actual taco toppings like, you know, lettuce, black olives. You could do maybe some chopped up onions, dip it in some salsa. All those things would be really good with it, as long as you tolerate those things. I hope I'm getting you guys in the mood for spooky season, just having some cutesy little things here and there. But also you can, you know, cook it at any time of year. It does not have to be for Halloween. Just don't do the silly shapes. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and don't forget to subscribe so you know what we're going to be cooking next time in the kitchen. And don't forget to leave me a comment. I love to chit chat with you guys in the comments. I like to chit chat with you guys over on X and on Instagram as well. Or if you want to come find out what I eat every day as a 3-year carnivore, you are welcome to just snoop around over there. You can find me on X at Carnivore Friend, and you can find me on Instagram at Friendly Neighborhood Carnivore. I really hope you guys are going to give this a try. It really turned out delicious. I'm very surprised at how good these are. Give them a try. Let me know what you think. Let me know how it goes. And I can't wait to see you guys right here in my kitchen next time. Bye.
She's the friendly neighborhood carnivore with a talent for cooking up a meaty uproar. From juicy steaks to sizzling ribs galore, she'll have you coming back for more. Fellas, smash that like button. She's the carnivore cooking queen. On your screen, bringing the meaty scene. Come on over and join the team for a culinary dream.